What is up guys, it's Jordan here and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be doing a bit of a mix of a discussion video and also kind of a guide. We're going to be talking about aggressive playstyles versus defensive playstyles. We're going to break this video into 4 points. I'm going to start with the positives of an aggressive playstyle, then we're going to go on to the negatives of an aggressive playstyle, and then we're going to do the same for defensives. So we'll go to defensive positives and then defensive negatives. At the end of the video, I'll also discuss my own personal opinion on how I play and also what I think other people should consider when it comes to choosing a playstyle. This video is hopefully going to help you to understand the different playstyles and give you an idea on which one may work best for you and to help you decide how you want to play. As always with these videos, please do feel free to let me know in the comments any additions you have to the points I'm going to bring up. Like I said, there's going to be 4 different categories. If you have anything you want to add, put it in the comments so that everyone else can see. Also, I'm going to be doing this video based primarily on the attacking point of view. Obviously, some of these points can be related to defending as well, but primarily this is for attacking. Anyway, kicking it off with the first aggressive positive. If you're playing aggressive, it allows you to catch the enemy off guard for some easy kills. Everyone has seen the Ash rush when you charge in, or an Ash charges in and gets like a quadruple kill, or even an ace or a triple. You can get some mad kills if you charge in and people don't suspect you to be there or they aren't ready for you. And as long as your aim is up to scratch, it's going to be super easy to pick off those people because the defenders can be placing gadgets, they can be reinforcing, they can be still getting ready and getting themselves into a position, or just plain straight facing the other way because they aren't ready for you. This brings me on to my second point, which is allows you to prevent the enemies from fully reinforcing if you get in quick enough. Some teams are just slow at preparing themselves. They're not always going to get everything done in the preparation phase, and if you can get in quick enough, you can catch people still reinforcing. It's very common for a player or an enemy to not fully reinforce or to forget to reinforce, and they're going to go and do it at the end or at the beginning, of the round. This means that you can easily get some kills and stop that wall from being reinforced, which is going to make it easier for your team when it comes to them pushing up. Following on from this point, the third one is prevent certain operators from placing gadgets. Again, some people are slow, some people don't get a chance to, or they want to go and roam and do something and then come back and place their gadgets. If you can get in and prevent, say, Jaeger from placing down his gadget, that's going to allow Fuse to easily fuse in and get some kills. So if you're able to get in quick enough and prevent gadgets from being placed, that is a massive bonus to the team, and it's going to really help you out when it comes to the whole team pushing up after you. The next positive is going to be picking off roamers before they get to wherever they're camping. After a roamer has reinforced and placed their gadgets, a lot of the time they will still be moving into an area they want to defend or roam during the round. So by the time your round starts, that's most likely when a roamer is going to be moving out and trying to get to a position, because obviously they still have to reinforce, they still have to place their gadgets if they have them. Shut up phone. So it's going to take time for that all to happen, and if you are quick enough or you're playing a character like Ash, you can sometimes pick off an operator while they're still trying to get to their position, and they're not going to be prepared for you because they're going to be running and primarily focusing on getting to the other side of the map or wherever they're roaming, which makes for some super easy kills. And it also again benefits the team because they haven't got to worry about that roamer or any roamers if you're able to get the only roamer. Okay, so that is the positives of aggressive playstyle. Now we're going to move on to the negatives. So the first negative is you need to have a pretty good aim in order to sustain momentum. If you see someone and you have to stop, aim and process that, then it's going to really slow down your momentum and give away your position as well. And if you're really slow at aiming, then it's either going to probably get you killed because you're going to make a lot of noise and they're going to see exactly where you are, and if you can't aim quick enough to sustain that momentum you've got, then you're going to get yourself killed. So following on from that, the second point is you need to have good reflexes as well. If your reflexes aren't up to scratch, then you're not going to be able to get any kills because you're just not going to be able to aim or react to situations quick enough when you're charging in. It's most likely going to get you killed because you're going to be making all that noise and people are just going to point and shoot and you're going to die because you won't have time to react to the situation of seeing an operator. Again, following on from that, the third point is you're going to make a lot of noise and make yourself a very easy target. If you're running through breaching and going through barbed wire or destroying barbed wire, especially if you're playing Ash and using your breaching rounds, you're going to make so much noise, and if the operator or the enemy team is very aware and prepared, they're going to be able to easily pick you off if you're charging in and they are aware of it. And to be honest, there's not many ways to counter this out. You're going to make noise regardless if you're rushing, so it's going to be a very difficult one to counter out. The only thing you can do is make sure, like I said in the previous point, is that your reflexes and aim are on point, otherwise you're going to find yourself dying very quickly. Final point is you may leave the team behind if they don't know what you're doing or don't want to rush. Sometimes teammates just don't want to keep up with you. If they see you rushing, they're not necessarily going to follow you. Even if they know that you're going to rush, they may choose not to. This means you could end up pushing up on your own, which is obviously going to make you a very easy target, and you're going to have no support. And if you do go down without dying straight away, there aren't going to be many people around to pick you up because you're going to be so far ahead. And it also means that your intel on the rooms ahead aren't going to be up to scratch because the team aren't going to have time to drone out fully, so you're kind of running in blind. Okay, so that's all the points for an aggressive playstyle. Now we're going to move on to a defensive playstyle. So the first positive of a defensive playstyle is you're going to be a lot quieter and you're going to attract a lot less attention, meaning the defenders aren't going to know where you are at all times during the map, so you're going to have the jump on them sometimes, providing they don't see you. The second positive is it allows more time to plan and coordinate with the team mid-round. If you need to change up tactics or whatever you're doing, then it's easier to do that if you're all together and pushing up slowly, whereas if you're rushing in, you're not going to have time to change your plans or tactics, and as well as that, it's going to give you more time to take out the cameras, meaning you can push up almost invisible if you play it right. The third point is easier to get kills if your reflexes are a bit slower or your aim isn't quite up to scratch. Now, not everyone has godlike aim and can peek and get a headshot straight away, and if you are that person, then defensive is going to benefit you a lot because you have more time to kind of peek around corners and figure out where people are with your drone, and it's going to make your life a lot easier. The final point is something that I've briefly mentioned already. It's easier to push up as a team and drone areas out. If you're going up slow, it allows the teammate to keep a drone one step ahead of you, whereas if you're charging in an aggressive playstyle, you're not going to be able to get the drone in front of you. You're going to be ahead of everyone, including drones, and it's going to make it very difficult to see what's going on in the next room. Whereas if you're pushing up defensively, someone can drone out ahead of you, meaning you know exactly what you're walking into, and it's going to make it easier to get kills if you know where and what's going on in the room ahead of you. Okay, so finally we're going to go on to defensive negatives. The first point is enemies have more time to prepare. If you're pushing up slowly and the enemies haven't quite got everything sorted in the preparation phase, they're going to have plenty of time to get everything else sorted because obviously you're going to be pushing up slowly, meaning by the time you get in, most likely everything will be reinforced and all gadgets will be deployed. The second point is enemies have more time to roam and get the drop on you quietly. If you're pushing up slowly, that means there's less pressure on the roamers to catch up to you, and they're going to be able to slowly move around the map and get behind you if you haven't got someone watching your back, which is going to make for some easy kills for them if you're not keeping an eye on what's going on behind you. The final point is enemies can hold peaks and get easier kills if you are slowly walking around the map. If you're pushing up slowly, it means that the enemies are going to have plenty of time to sort of nest themselves into a spot and hold a peak, and if you're slowly peeking around doors and watching every corner, it can lead to some easy kills for the enemies because they're going to have so much time just to watch where you're going, and they're going to be very much prepared for you to come through the doorway if they're watching you on cams or if they can hear you. So yeah, it's going to make it a little bit easier for the defenders if you are pushing up slowly in that regard, because if you are aggressive, then they're probably not going to suspect you charging into the room, and if you are aware of where they are and your aim's good, you can easily pick up a kill. That is all the points I've got on the negatives and positives of both aggressive playstyles and defensive playstyles. So we're going to do the final section of this video is going to be on my personal opinion on how I play. Now personally, I change up my playstyle depending on every situation. Generally, I would consider myself to be a more defensive player because it's just how I am. I do get a little bit conscious of making too much noise and I don't want people to be able to easily tell where I am just from noise. However, I kind of gauge how I want to play on how the other team are playing. So if the other team are charging in as a defender, like they're all pushing peaks and they're all doing that kind of thing, I like to play defensive because I can sit and wait for them to essentially come to me, which makes for some really easy kills if they're just going to charge the windows and charge out of the building or wherever they're defending. However, if they're quite a slow team and they don't get everything done quickly, I like to play aggressive because it means I can get in there very quickly and catch them off guard, and most of the time if they are slower players, they're not going to be able to react to someone charging in very quickly, which can make for some very easy kills for you. But like I said, generally I do play defensive. I think really although my aim and reflexes are generally pretty good, I just like to be able to push up with a team because most of the time when I'm playing with randoms, they push up slow as well. If I'm playing with someone like Bubba Fabes or AJ or someone that I know, and I know that they'll be able to keep up with me if I do play aggressive, or Bubba Fabes for instance, he's quite an aggressive player at times as well, then I like to play aggressive with them. It all depends on who I'm playing against, who I'm playing with, and I change it up completely. In terms of what I think you guys should do, I think it's completely personal preference. You need to be able to play both styles and figure out which works for you. If you can't play aggressive straight away, then maybe for now just go and play defensive and then go into some casual games and work on trying to play aggressive, because it all comes down to aim and reflexes, and you've got to kind of build those skills up as you play. So if you just go and hop into a game and play aggressive and you've never done it before, it's probably going to be quite difficult and it's going to take some time to get used to. But I think overall, if you can have someone who's quite aggressive on the team, it can be beneficial. And if you can play aggressive as well, it's definitely a very beneficial skill to have. If you're always playing defensive, you can become predictable, and it can be kind of difficult to switch it up if you're not used to playing aggressive or defensive. Anyway guys, that was all for this video. Like I said at the beginning, if you do have anything you want to add, then please do feel free to put it in the comments. One thing I forgot to mention, these points will definitely change as you get into the higher leagues. Like if you get to like high plat or high diamond, then a lot of these points will start to change, and I'll probably make a follow-up video. But as a general rule, these points are a good way to get into switching up your playstyle and figuring out which one works for you. But do bear in mind that if you're already a high plat player or a diamond player, then you've probably already figured out how you play, but they do kind of change because most of the time you're not going to have slow teams or sluggish teams when you get to really high ranks. If you did like the video, I'd really appreciate it if you did smack the like button. It helps me out a bunch, and do subscribe if you're new and you enjoy the content I put out. And as well as that, if you want to keep up to date with me and everything that I'm doing, then do check out my Twitter in the description. I've been trying to use it a lot more lately and engage with people on Twitter. It's also a really great way to get a hold of me if you have anything to ask, because I do have Twitter on me at all times with my phone. And also don't forget to hit the notification bell if you do want to be notified every time I upload. The notification squad is already getting pretty strong, so we can get a bit stronger. That would be awesome. Anyway guys, I hope you have an amazing week, and I will see you in the next one.